Bishop.
And I'm Dr. Steph.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this YouTube channel where we come every single week to bring you content that we believe can be a blessing to your life. We call it our life, our journey,
our truth.
And thank you so much for being a part. So many of you encourage us by sending comments in the comment section. So make sure you comment, make sure you like, and more importantly, make sure
you subscribe.
Please do, because we want to stay connected to you. And every week we try to bring you topics that we believe can truly enlighten you, help you in your relationship, your personal life, whatever. Get to the place that God has for your life. Let me tell you, I want you to follow my wife at Dr. Steph Walker out there on Instagram. Follow me at drstephwalker3. And we love to connect with you in those spaces. Make sure you go to our website, drstephwalker3.org, to get our books and content we believe can be a blessing to your life.
And make sure you share. Share with your friends, your family, all your people.
That's what's up. All of them. All of them. Especially this one. This is going to be something that everybody wants to know. Like, how do you know? Mm-hmm. How do you know that's the one? Mm-hmm. And here's our thought. It's more than
a feeling. That's for sure.
We live in such a feeling-oriented world. Mm-hmm. And people oftentimes try to discern, authenticity based on how they feel. I see it in the spiritual arena. I feel that God is telling me to do this, or I feel that this, or I feel. You can't trust your feelings.
Feelings are fleeting.
Fleeting. Mm-hmm. And there are some real concrete things that we've learned in our own relationship.
Yeah, for sure.
To be very transparent with you, how we knew.
Yeah.
How did she know I was the one?
Yeah.
How did I know she was the one? Mm-hmm. And maybe how do you find out if the one that you've been praying about and asking all your friends about, if that's the one?
For you.
Let's lock in on it. Let's lock in on it. So I think one of the most important things is shared values.
Yes, 100%.
100.
That's like at the very basic level.
Oh my God, yeah.
Like understanding what your values are in terms of what your belief system is, in terms of, what your goals, dreams, and aspirations are, but more importantly, not just what they are, but why they are what they are. Asking, how you were raised and,
Because a person can have, for example, good qualities, but not have the same values. Mm-hmm. They do good things. Oh, they do this, they do that. Mm-hmm. But when you get down to it, values point to how you are going to live your life in a space with someone else. What will you share together? Your values around family.
What you think is important even when people aren't looking.
Oh.
How do you behave even when you don't think anyone is watching?
Right, because I can put on a show all day long. I can tell you, oh, do you like this or that? And I can just morph into what you like and it looks like good quality. Mm-hmm. But my values are things, man, that they govern my life in a space of integrity when nobody's paying attention.
So one thing that my girlfriends and I would always say, and it does ring true, listen to this. Anyone can fake it for 3 to 4 months. Anyone can fake it for 90 days, 120 days. So wait, don't be so quick to judge your relationships on terms of if this is a keeper or not.
That's good.
Wait till they get over that 90-day, 120-day mark, because anyone who's faking it gets tired of pretending by then, right? And then the real them exposes themselves. The real them comes out. So feel free to give your relationships time to evolve so that, yes, you're getting to know the person, but you're also waiting to see who the real them shows up to be. Because like he said, sometimes you get caught up into the feelings or the emotions of a relationship and everyone's on cloud 9. But after about 3 to 4 months, now you're sinking into the reality of the relationship and all the the giddiness and the newness of the relationship is starting to wear off. And then the real person shows up.
Wow, that's real deep. All right, so watch this. Here's the second one. Man, this is going to be a big one. So I want you to really, really, really watch this one, right? Let's say it like this. When the complicated connection becomes convenient.
Yeah.
That's how you know.
It was really easy for us. Like, I was in relationships before where the people were around the corner or down the street or in the next city over, or just the next state over. And they were sometimes or frequently so convoluted and so difficult in terms of organizing our schedule and trying to get together. You would go on a date here and there, and it was just very complicated and cumbersome. He was all the way in Tennessee, and I was all the way in Boston. And it was so easy to coordinate our schedules, and we were extraordinarily busy. Like, this isn't like we end up being free on the same weekends, being able to
Yeah.
get together when we needed
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
And like, I want to say we probably saw each other like
Man.
every 7 to 10 days.
Yeah, for sure. For
And
sure.
we were long distance.
And long distance and very busy.
Yeah,
But it became
yeah.
convenient, right? The flight
Yeah.
schedules worked out, the schedules. It was,
Yeah.
and that's how you kind of know, like, God, you're aligning this because you've taken what was complicated
Yeah.
and made it convenient.
Yeah.
And
And
that-
it didn't feel cumbersome. Even
Right.
when we were traveling one way or the other, one direction or the other, it wasn't onerous. It wasn't like, oh, here I go again. We looked forward to doing it, right?
Yeah, yeah. So that's an important point. That's how you know values, and you know when it becomes easy, right? That's very important. I think one of the other things I think that kind of moves us into this place of knowing. Yeah, I knew. I think when you
Uh-oh. I don't know what he's going to say. I'm like nervous. What are you going to say?
okay, I'm a
All
back into it.
suspenseful.
No. It's not bad at all. It's just important. It's important to understand. It's like when you feel that the relationship adds value
Oh, yeah.
and does not
Diminish your value.
diminish
Oh, my
or
goodness.
drain you,
That's a good one.
right? Like when you talk to somebody and you feel like, I just need a drink after I talk to you. I don't even drink. Or you talk to somebody, you feel like, I feel like I've been boxing 15 rounds. Versus when I get off the phone, I feel energized, I feel poured into, I feel empowered, I feel like encouraged, I can go and conquer the world. And I laugh because I think that was one of the things that really was a tipping point for me, because I've been in relationships where it was like, I just feel drained. I didn't want to answer the phone. I'm like, oh my God.
So much out of
Oh
you
my
as
God.
opposed
What do you
to
want?
filling your cup.
What do you want?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
you long to talk to someone that can really give you that feeling.
Yeah.
And it's more than a feeling though, but someone that can give you that reality that you know without a doubt in your mind you're being poured into.
Yeah, it was so interesting too. And like someone that you know that you can be yourself around. And I didn't realize how inauthentic I was being in my other relationships in terms of trying to be something or someone that other people needed me to be in that particular season, either in my life or their life or whatever. And I remember after about 2 months of us courting, I remember like waking up in the morning and getting on. We talked every morning, every night, and frequently during the day. And I got off the phone in the morning, and I just paused because it was just so like such a moment. I was like, wow, I have never, not once since we've known each other, been anything other than my authentic self.
Yeah.
I didn't have to pretend. I didn't have to downplay my accomplishments. I didn't have to act like I was more interested in what they were saying than I actually was. We've all been there, like, oh my gosh, really? And we're like, what? Whatever, right? But you're trying to be supportive of whatever it is they're doing, and you're not really interested. You're just trying to be kind, right? I never had to put on airs. I never had to be anything other than myself. And that is huge, right? Because you don't want to find yourself in a relationship where yourself is being constantly challenged. Your authentic person is being constantly challenged, where you feel like you can't show up in your whole self.
Yeah.
And I don't even mean just negative ways, but also in positive ways. Like when you're in a relationship that's not giving you what you really need, frequently we can't even love the way that we want to fully. We're holding back because they're not loving us the way that we deserve to be loved, right? And so you have to make sure that you position yourself and you prioritize relationships where you can fully give the way that you want to give, but that you can also fully receive the way that you want to receive as well.
That's real. That's real. Y'all heard it loud and clear right there. How about this one? And you know, this is so real. How about someone who can pray for you? I knew it. She knows how to
Amen.
pray.
Yes,
Like for
sir.
real.
Yes,
Don't get it
ma'am.
twisted. Like for real.
Yeah.
Somebody that you know. Let me tell you something. So, I don't know if we were married or we were dating, and I had a colonoscopy. And I woke up from the imagine, I woke up from the colonoscopy. She's standing over me. I could tell she'd been praying for me. Tears rolling down her eyes. I thought, oh God, did they find something? You know, I just was just looking at you and I just was praying that you wake up and be okay. I'm like, it scared me half to death, but I realized like this woman like loves me, prays for me.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's so important when you feel like because you never know what situation you might find yourself in.
Yeah.
And you
Oh
want
my
somebody
goodness.
you know can intercede on
Yeah.
your behalf. That's a
No, that's
fact,
good.
man, right? And I pray for her.
Yeah.
Lord knows I do. So you need someone that can truly, truly pray, right?
Yeah.
I think also you need someone that can really speak, and listen to this, speak your language. Listen to this.
Yeah.
How do you know? Because we speak the same language. I'm not talking about dialect, though. I'm not talking about dialect.
English, Spanish, whatever.
I'm
We're not
talking about we
that.
speak the same
Mental language.
mental language.
And emotional language.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. We're on the same frequency. The worst thing that be is be an FM person trying to have a conversation with a person at AM.
Right.
I can't understand what you're saying.
Well, and it was so funny because I remember early on in our relationship, like we hadn't even known each other that long, but we were finishing each other's sentences.
Yeah.
That's how in tune we were in terms of thinking very similarly. And I don't mean thinking similarly in all of our viewpoints were exactly the same. I mean thinking similarly, like thinking in the same direction, on the same wavelength, in the same direction.
Yeah. Yeah. So we put together these lists.
Oh my gosh.
And
yes,
before
for sure.
I met her, before she met me, we had a list. And I had
But how did your list come about?
I prayed about it and I asked God. I told God I was tired of dating. I was done. And I just read that scripture in Psalm 37. God would give me the desires of my heart. Right? If I trusted in him.
And of course, one of my alarms going off. As you know, my life is run by alarms.
That's what
That's
we do.
the go get children
Go get the
alarm.
children alarm. That's what we do, y'all. Right here on our life, our journey.
Our truth.
That's what's up. That's real. That's as real as it gets.
Right.
I know for real. Like it's like what happens. I'm like, Lord, I have a right to ask you according to your word for what I want.
Yeah.
So I wanted someone that was a professional. That's what I mean. I wanted someone that was a professional because I needed them to be able to understand how I moved.
Yeah.
If you're not a professional, you're not going to understand the places in which I navigate.
Yeah.
You're not going to understand the language and the stressors I have. So she was a professional. I asked for that. Got it. Check. Mark. Right? Ask somebody who understood, who had similar social circles that I did. Right? So I wanted somebody that understood, Greek life. Somebody understood being in other spaces with me. They understood that there wouldn't be an outside. And it doesn't mean somebody's like got to be in this or that for you. I'm just saying social circles mean they navigate in the similar social spaces. They don't feel uncomfortable in certain spaces, whether they are part of it or not. I wanted somebody that was, comfortable in the social spaces that I navigated. That was very, very important. I wanted somebody who was academically equal. And I meant that. I wanted somebody who not so much had to have all the degrees I had, but somebody that could have conversations about things and challenge me. I didn't want somebody sitting around talking about, now what's that? I want somebody well-read. Lord, give me somebody well-read, somebody that loves, because I was thinking about values. I want my children to be readers. I want my children to love school. So I watch this woman, how she spends this time with our children on their homework, and she's like really going, because I wanted that. And I thought about that. And you may think that's a small thing, but when you think about God bringing you together and you're thinking about, okay, we raise children together. If this person doesn't have a high regard for education, they're going to be up there giving the kids iPads all day, eating popsicles, and your kids going to be lagging behind because nobody's spending time studying. Right? So we create a whole culture in our house where this is study time, this is quiet time, this is reading time. And that mattered to me. That mattered to me.
Even before you even had kids. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That mattered to me. I asked the Lord for somebody that knew how to cook, whether they cooked or not. I just want you to know how to cook. So if things go down, you can make something.
We won't starve.
We won't starve. Lord have mercy. This girl can do that. I asked for it. I ain't gonna lie. I asked him for God. I said, look, I want somebody that take care of themselves. I don't want nobody up here ashy, don't believe in pedicures and manicures and getting their hair done. I call it vain if you want. I ain't listen. I'm like, look.
This dude here.
What? What? I want somebody to look at and be like, yes, she's with me. She's with me. That's what's up. And the list goes on and on.
Ashley, will you want to love me?
I like you a lot.
From afar.
I'll give you some lotion. Like, get that for you. No, but so my point is the lists are important, right? And the lists, they matter. And I think that.
But I think more important than the list is the why behind each. Like for me, like for my list, the way that it came about, I was in the same situation that he was. I just felt like my relationships weren't going in the right direction. I was wasting a lot of time. And I was like, you know what, Lord, I give up. Like, I'd rather be by myself and just chill and grow my mind and just enjoy life than waste another moment with somebody that you don't see for me. I give up. I'm gonna let you do it. And I meant it that time, right? Finally, I meant it. I had to come to that place of resolve where I truly allowed God to take the wheel and actually hold on to it as opposed to constantly taking it back, right? So that's one. And then what I heard him very distinctly say to me was, you have not because you ask not. And I was like, yeah, I have. I've been asking for a whole bunch of stuff. But what I realized was that I was asking him for things that I only thought that he can give me as opposed to what I truly, really wanted in a person. And so I got really granular. I was like, okay, Lord, I accept this challenge. And I got super granular. So I had exactly what he had in terms of, I want someone who values education. I even put on there, I want someone who has gone to Harvard, Princeton, or Yale, or Cornell, or well, actually, I named those schools, actually, those 4 schools. And he ended up going to Princeton. But I didn't do it from a vain reason. I did it because I went to Ivy League schools myself, and I wanted someone who valued education. I put on there I wanted someone who was in a Greek letter organization because that was something that was an important integral part of my life. And I wanted them to understand that for me, for themselves. But also you got to have a certain GPA to get into many of these organizations. So it also spoke to their intellect and their commitment to service, right? I also put on there like simple things like, and again, very granular. I want somebody who can play tennis. Because I love to play tennis. Someone who can play or willing to learn how to play golf. He doesn't know how to play golf, but that was the only thing on my list that he didn't know how to do. Someone who knows how to travel. Someone who, again, takes care of themselves. I put on my list, ladies, listen to this. Someone who loves their mother. Because the way that a man treats his mom is how he treats women in general.
That's a fact.
Someone who loves their mother. I put on the list that I myself wanted to be so close to God that the man who's the right man for me has to go through God to get to me. I didn't know he was going to be a pastor. I would have erased that off the list. No, just kidding. Just kidding.
Maybe I was going to be this close to God.
Right, this close to God. But at the end of the day, like when we connected and I was able to go down that list, I was able to see like, oh my goodness, like look at God. Yeah. Right here. He brought us together and our lists were virtually identical. And that helped us understand without just asking questions that we really did share the same values.
That's right.
Because these were pre-written before we had even met.
Jeez. So listen, guys, it's more than a feeling.
More than a feeling.
You got to have some. We've given you several things to think through.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be your list doesn't have to be like ours. No. Your list could be, hey, whatever. I want somebody that like to cut grass. Whatever it is, whatever.
It just means you just have to have a valid reason. And the reason just can't be shallow. It just needs to be a real, valid reason about why you think that that's important for you in your life.
So don't be out there talking about, I want somebody that wear red bottoms. That's so shallow. Come on, man. No, you want somebody that's going in the right direction. How about that?
And maybe has the capacity to buy their own red bottom. That's what you want.
That's what you want. Right? Yeah,
somebody who's financially sound. That was on my list. And it wasn't about finance. It wasn't about the amount of money the person had. It was about, if you're financially sound and have a good financial score, that means that you make sound
decisions.
It was a character
Credit
judgment,
score,
right?
credibility.
It's about, you say what you're going to, you make a plan, you're able to make plans, you're able to stick to plans, you're able to honor your commitments, meaning when if you take out a loan, you're paying it back. Like, those are character. Yeah, it's about integrity.
That's real. That's real. So, man, listen, I hope this has blessed y'all. This is one I know. I told you, I want you to share it, right? With all your friends. Y'all get together, all the dudes get together, all the girls get together. Y'all go down this here, see if y'all agree, have a conversation. Shoot us some comments, let us know what you think.
I want to know, what else would you add to your list?
Yeah, why don't you put in the comment section, what would you add in your list that we didn't talk about? How about that? Let's interact. Maybe we'll have a Zoom or something up the road, and we can kind of have a conversation more about how to
I would love that.
We get the whole community, get together, and let's do something like that. So wherever you're watching, thank you so much. We look forward to connecting with you. I'm Bishop.
And I'm Dr. Steph.
Thank you. Peace.